What's up, Lantern fans? It's the Emerald Enthusiast back with another Green Lantern collectible review. This time I'll be looking at the McFarlane Gold Label DC Multiverse figure of the Parallax host version of Sinestro. The figure comes in DC Multiverse packaging with a standard DC Multiverse peg base, a construct accessory, and a Sinestro trading card packaged with this gold label figure. There's a partial window on the top and product information on the bottom of the package. The sides of the packaging designate this action figure as the Parallax version of Sinestro. The back of the package features this stunning artwork from Green Lantern Volume 5, Issue number 20, when Sinestro first became the host for Parallax. And now let's bust open this package and see what's inside. Here's a look at the black DC logo peg base as well as the front of the trading card. Here's a look at the character description on the back of the trading card. If you would like to read this, just pause the video and do so now. And here we see Sinestro free of the package and ready to rumble. Although I do have some minor gripes with the design, overall this is an attention-grabbing figure, so let's have a closer look at the loose details now. Let's have a look at the lower body, and the majority of this figure is comprised of reused parts from the Hal Jordan Parallax figure. So it's not completely comic accurate. There are some extra sculpted lines. Although I really do like this metallic yellow paint that they used. There's a little too much separation between the torso and the hips. So that's an area of concern if you're doing a flying pose. But overall, this is a decent effort by McFarlane on the lower body. Now let's have a look at the torso. And once again, it's not completely comic accurate, although it is close. I wish that the chest symbol would have been translucent plastic instead. That would have been more comic accurate. You can see the definition on the abdominals and the obliques. There's a little sloppiness on the white lines of my figure, and here's a look at the back. I also wish that all of the black sections were just a little glossier on this figure. Here's a close-up of the arms, and the first thing that I noticed is that the gauntlets should be yellow instead of black. The line work is also not completely accurate, and Sinestro is much more muscular here than we're used to seeing him. However, that is how he's drawn in Green Lantern number 20. Now let's have a look at the ring, and there's some really superb sculpting here. First of all, the ring is on the correct hand. It is on the left hand, so I certainly appreciate that. But it's possible to see the Sinestro Corps symbol, so I'm impressed by that as well. Speaking of impressive, McFarlane did an excellent job with this head sculpt. The skin tone looks very realistic. There's very tight paint applications on the mustache and the eyebrows and the eyes. And there's also this streak of gray in the hair. That is accurate for this particular version of Sinestro, so I really appreciate the attention to detail that McFarlane gave this head sculpt. Now let's have a look at the cape, and again, other than the color, this is the same cape that was used for the Hal Jordan Parallax figure. There's excellent sculpting on this, although it does give the figure some balance issues. And this shoulder area does limit the movement of the arms to a degree. And with that being said, let's have a look at this figure's articulation now. The feet move backward, forward, and side to side at the ankle joints, and there are midfoot hinges on the feet. There are double jointed knees, although mine are especially tight, and I would have to heat these up to achieve a better angle, and that's the case on both sides. The figure can kick forward this far, so that is quite impressive. The spread isn't perfect. I have seen McFarlane figures with a little more, but really that's nothing to complain about. You can get the figure into a deep side-kicking pose, and the figure steps back as well. Here's a look at the torso swiveling. No issues here. There's rotation at the wrists, and they move backward and forward. There are double jointed elbows, but once again, my figure has very tight joints. There's bicep swiveling on each arm. The figure has butterfly joints in the shoulders, and I always appreciate those. However, as I mentioned earlier, the shoulder pad area of the cape does limit the arm articulation to a degree. There is magnificent movement with the head, as you can see demonstrated here. The head moves up and down, and there is plenty of head tilting, and that's always helpful in conveying emotion. So there are certainly more positives than negatives with the figure's articulation. Here is the figure next to the glow-in-the-dark Hal Jordan Parallax, and outside of the head, the hands, and of course the paint, everything else has been reused for this figure. And it's certainly possible to see that with the identical sculpted-in wrinkles on the capes. Here is the figure next to the McFarlane Sinestro Corps Uniform Sinestro, and I certainly prefer the head sculpt on the new Sinestro to the previously used one. Here's a look at the Parallax Construct accessory. And although I do appreciate the intricate sculpting on this, I really wish that we would have gotten the Parallax entity instead. Perhaps this should have been a collector edition to make the Parallax entity to scale. It's also not easy to attach the accessory to the figure. I was able to lay the accessory in the palm like this, and I do like this look, but it certainly doesn't feel like a secure fit with the accessory. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this review, and please tell all of your friends about this channel. I would certainly appreciate it. And I'll be back with more action figure content soon. But until we meet again, this has been the Emerald Enthusiast, and thanks for watching.